Hi everybody, it's Lady Mal and LaGojiLupus, and we're doing like a bonus video today because we just got through watching a couple of movies and really kind of feel like I wanted to do a vlog about them because, well, they're good movies. The first movie we're gonna review is
Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Not to be confused with Abraham Lincoln versus Zombies.
which is by The Asylum, which I reviewed a couple of vlogs back. It was terrible. So we both read the book
Yep.
by Seth Grahame-Smith. He also did Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies.
Coming out next year.
The movie. The book's been out a while. And Unholy Night, which is about the three wise men, after they go see Jesus. And I'm not really sure what that's all about, but I'm probably going to read it. The book, freaking awesome. It's riveting, which is a word I couldn't think of a while ago when we were having a conversation about it. It grabs your attention. It keeps it. It incorporates a lot of actual facts about Lincoln's life and whatnot. But he incorporated, obviously vampires and what the Civil War was really about in that universe. I just felt the movie was like on a 10-point scale. I gave it 5, maybe a 6, because it was good. It was, the graphics were great. It got a little too CGI-y for me. It started to look like a video game cutscene. But, I mean, it was okay. What do you think?
Okay, well, yeah, the book, because you always got to go with a book first. The book was phenomenal because they took a lot of the stuff dealing with Abraham Lincoln's life. They dealt with a lot of journals, and they wrote it based on a journal, which I thought was really cool. Inserting all the vampire stuff, really awesome. The movie, I had really high hopes for because, I mean, the book was awesome. Tim Burton as one of the producers. This should have been epic, but I feel like they spent way too much time concentrating on how to get all these cool special effects going on with like the axe fighting and the shit like that they concentrated more on that and not so much on the story. Because the story, there was times where I was like, eh. It was kind of like an action movie version of a porn. Cheesy dialogue, action, money shot, aka death. Cheesy? Come on. You have to admit that's true.
It's true. I mean, and it was. I mean, the plot stalled like several times. I mean, obviously, if a movie's good, I'll stop whatever I'm doing and watch it. But with this one, I was working on Christmas decorations.
I was rereading Mockingjay.
Yeah, so, I mean, it was cool to look up every once in a while. There were some pretty cool action scenes and whatnot, but all in all, they really left way too much out. I know you can't put everything from the book into the movie, but they left too much important, like, plot explanation things.
Yeah, they left out the fact that Mary Todd Lincoln was crazy as batshit.
And they took it out on him.
They left out the second and third child of Lincoln, which the second one also died, was killed by the vampires. The third one actually ended up living. They left out his friendship with William H. Seward, who ended up serving as his Secretary of State going overseas and was later on the one that helped do the purchase for Alaska. They left out... Damn, they left out a shit ton.
Yeah.
And I know Seth Grahame-Smith himself is the one that did all of the rewrites on it. At the same time, I don't know. This is why I hate going between movies and books. Because with very few books, I mean, usually you end up being disappointed. Hunger Games was a good translation.
Yeah.
The Harry Potter series, good translation. The Lord of the Rings, good translation. But some of this, like this one, I was disappointed with. I mean, I give it a 6 out of 10, but that's primarily because, it had some You know, instead of seeing the katanas or the sabers, you had a frickin' axe.
That was pretty cool.
And that's all American, all cool stuff. But then it started feeling like it was Abraham Lincoln Viking.
Well, I don't
Because, I
know.
mean, Vikings fought with axes a lot.
Well,
And with the
could
beard
be.
and everything else, I started thinking that he was going to start yelling out for Odin.
Well, you know, I mean, Native Americans use axes.
That is true, but not that big of axes. They use the small little axes.
Well,
the
Vikings'
tomahawks.
axes were a lot bigger than that.
And double-edged.
Yes. Anyway, this is how our conversations go. We diverge like 12 times. Anyway, all in all, read the book. Read Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies. Read The Unholy Night when it comes out.
It already did come out. It came out April 14th.
That's right. So read all three of them. I haven't read Unholy Night, but I'm going to get it for my Kindle. If you want to watch the movie, watch it. I'm glad I only paid $5 on pay-per-view to see it rather than the $14 it would have cost to go to the movies, because I'd been really ticked off. So, anything else?
Yeah, the book, so much better. The visual graphics on it was kind of awesome, especially how you had the vampires that were going out in the sunlight. They showed them applying sunscreen, but then instead of having the sparkly, the emo-tastic shit, you had the weird morphors like, and them tearing the shit out of things, which was that return to that old school vampire.
Yeah.
Not the emo-tastic Anne Rice or, you know, the emo-tastic Lestat, I'm a rock god, or the emo-tastic Twilight series. Yeah.
By the way, Twilight series. Terrible. Hate it. Vampires are not.
But it does say something.
Sparkle.
But it does say something about the way that modern America shows their relationships, because that's apparently what is stereotypical, which means that's just fucking wrong.
Yeah, very wrong. Okay, so next movie we're doing. I happened to be flipping through Netflix one day while he was at work, because he works 12 hours a day and I have nothing else to do. And I came across this movie called The Devil's Carnival.
Devil's Carnival.
Okay, we're not there yet. Premature elation is not a good thing. Anyway, so I found this movie called The Devil's Carnival, and it was listed as a musical. I'm like, okay, sure, why not? So I start playing it, and I realize that it's got Sean Patrick Flannery, Boondock Saints, not Norman Reedus, the other guy. He's in it. And I start watching, I'm like, this isn't half bad, and it is a musical. And so he gets home. I'm like, okay, you need to watch this movie. It's actually pretty cool. What did you think?
Hey, I thought it was awesome. I mean, it's the same guys that did Repo the Genetic Opera.
Not to be confused with Repo/Men, which was a total ripoff.
No, Repo the Genetic Opera. The main guy, the dude that sings Zydrate Anatomy, he plays Lucifer.
He's the grave robber. And he wrote Repo. He wrote Devil's Carnival. He plays Satan, Lucifer, whatever you want to call him. He's got the awesome voice. Freaking love him.
Clown from Slipknot is in it.
That was completely lost on me. So
okay, in the video Duality, he's the guy with that. The only thing he does is he's holding a baseball bat and he's beating a keg with it. He's one of the accompanying percussionists. He plays the
Tamer.
He's really big guy, beard, scars on his face with a frickin' whip. I thought that was pretty cool, but he didn't really talk, so yeah, go fig.
It's also got, if you've seen Repo the Genetic Opera, the brother, not Pavi, the one that keeps replacing his face, but the other one, when he's singing, he says, I'll make a hole and try to fuck it or whatever. Bill Moseley, I think is his name.
Yeah.
He's also in this one. He's the magician.
Paul Sorvino is also in it.
Paul Sorvino, who was also in Repo. He is God, essentially. And then the girl that played Shiloh, Alex, I cannot remember her name is. She's also been in Spy Kids and all that crap. She's also in it too. Not that she has that great big of a part though.
And then there's that one really awesome girl that plays the Tainted Doll.
Painted Doll.
Painted Doll.
Painted Doll. It's Emily Autumn. If you've never listened to her music, look it up on YouTube. I don't know if she has anything up because I know a while back she pulled a lot of her stuff because of copyright infringement. But she is an awesome singer, which I think is kind of cool because in Repo you got Sarah Brightman, who is, if you don't know who Sarah Brightman is,
what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, she played Blind Mag. Look her up. She's got a great voice. So you've got a big vocal sort of star, not mainstream, but sort of mainstream in Repo, and then you've got a sort of popular off mainstream type of singer in this one too.
And I thought it was really awesome that they brought out Aesop's Fables into it.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, for only being an hour long, I mean, it is completely riveting. It's short, but it's really awesome because, you'll see Satan there reading to this little boy all these Aesop fables, and it's showing everything that's going on with it, especially with, they read the Scorpion and the Frog, the Devil Gets His Due, and, the Dog and the Necklace.
Yeah, Dog and the Jewels.
The Dog and the Jewels. And it was really good. I mean, half the time I'm not really a big fan of the musicals that come out nowadays, just because it's like a lot of the same cookie cutter bullshit. But this one was really good. I love it.
I do too. I mean, it is a musical, and the songs are actually kind of catchy, but it's not, and don't get me wrong, I like cookie cutter musicals. Yeah. I like Hairspray and Wicked and all of that, but this is so far off the beaten path that it's entertaining, and it's
unique for where it's at because, you had all these normal style stuff, and then you had Rent that came out. Then you had a lot of stuff that kind of copied Rent's success, and then you had Wicked came out, which took a completely different spin on what you know about the story. Mm-hmm. And then Repo came out, which was this really awesome, cyberpunk style world. And now you have the Devil's Carnival. And it's just this whole nother twist on it that I thought was really, really good.
Yeah, I did too. I thought it was
2 thumbs way up.
Oh yeah, totally. There was another movie and I can't remember what it was.
Oh, the one with the really good soundtrack but the really shitty.
Oh yeah, it's called Don't Go in the Woods. Still haven't finished the movie because the plot is flippin' terrible, but it's a Tribeca film, which I had high hopes for because Tribeca usually puts out pretty good films. Yeah. And then it was directed by Vincent D'Onofrio. He was in The Cell. He was the bad guy. He was on one of the 5 billion Law and Orders.
Special Victims Unit.
Okay. Yeah, SVU.
No, wait. It's Criminal Intent.
Law and Order. Which one? It doesn't matter. They show all of them on.
He was also in Men in Black.
Yeah, he was Edgar.
Yeah, he was Edgar in Men in Black. He was also in Full Metal Jacket as Private Pile.
Private Pile. Yeah, that's the only part of that movie I like. His first 15 minutes.
Music was awesome if you're into that whole dashboard confessional Jimmy Eat World style music.
It's an indie group that goes out into the woods to, find their
with a man.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to. Anyway, they're going out to the woods to get in touch. Okay, we get it. You like men, we know that.
Hey,
you do. Don't. Anyway, so they go out to find themselves, and I gesticulate. Deal with it. To find themselves and whatnot, and apparently there's supposed to be some sort of I am gonna poke your eyes out. Anyway, supposedly there's supposed to be something about a Wendigo and a sledgehammer wielding bad guy. I don't know. We never got that far. But up until they try to start the movie, it's all this music that they're writing and whatnot. And it's actually really good. And I liked the music, but the movie sucks ass. I mean, there is no redeeming qualities about the whole thing.
Other than the soundtrack.
Other than the soundtrack. That's really it.
Well, I mean, that's kind of like the movie Rush. Who remembers what the fuck the movie Rush was about, but everybody remembers the soundtrack because it had Eric Clapton's Tears in Heaven. That's what it was written for.
I heard it on MTV's Unplugged.
Oh. It first came out, it was first released on the soundtrack for Rush.
Gotcha.
But yeah, movie, 0 out of 10. Soundtrack, 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
And wow, we just went over 15 minutes.
Well, yeah, I can go for a while.
Oh.
I'm enabled. I've done enough of these freaking videos that I'm allowed to go over 15 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, needless to say, I've watched a lot of really bad horror movies on Netflix. Like, if you want something that sort of kind of goes along with the genre, it's called Scourge. Essentially, it's about this thing called the Corregia. And it's from hell, but it's not like a demon, like with the horns and the tail and the claws and the hooves and shit. It's like this thing, like single cell organism, and it's pretty cool. It's kind of gory in places, but all in all, it's pretty decent.
Cabin in the Woods. It was all right.
Yeah, well, I think I talked about that before. Cabin in the Woods is good. Not so much on the horror. I mean, it's horror, but horror-esque. It's not what I thought it was going to be, and it's not what it was hyped up to be. But
yeah, I mean, it was okay. It had an unusual take on everything.
And they took the same same path for the bad guy as they did for Cloverfield, where you really only see the animal in like split-second shots until the very end. And that's kind of how they did with this. You really don't see the bad guy except for the hand shoot it from the ground and it goes to black.
Yeah, the ultimate bad guy.
And it was just like...
But they talked about the elder ones,
god, yeah.
Which I was like, sweet, Cthulhu has his own movie.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
No, just this big smoky hand go.
Yeah, that's it.
But everybody dies.
Everybody does die, so it's like a Japanese horror flick. There's one I keep trying to watch, but it takes too much of my attention because it's called Atrocious, and
it is.
We haven't watched it.
I've caught part of it.
I've only watched like the first 5 minutes of it, and you weren't here.
I had to do something while you were asleep that didn't involve masturbation.
Anyway, it's in Spanish, and I just haven't been able to. I want to watch it because I was watching Cabin Fever 2, which is just as bad as Cabin Fever was. Though, about Cabin Fever, which I told you about it. On the Cabin Fever DVD, something that was really cool was they gave the family-friendly version, which was, if you've seen the movie, it's the opening shots for the credits up until they find the dog. And then them driving to the cabin, and then the end credits. It's all of about 2.5 minutes long. It's awesome.
Is that the one that also has the scary vision?
And then they have a version for if you're squeamish or what it's like, scary vision or squeamish vision. I can't remember what it is. But anytime a scary section comes up, it does like this. Except my hands are off. There we go. It does like this. And you can only see through like the fingers, but they're like black. It's hilarious. But all Cabin Fever was about freaking Ebola. Or I'm sorry, necrophizing
infectiitis.
Yeah.
There was actually an outbreak of that in 2009 in Columbus, Ohio. Upper Arlington High School.
Necrotizing fasciitis.
That's it. But you can look it up. This disease is real, and there has been an outbreak recently in Columbus, Ohio, of all things. The high school across from where I used to live at.
Yeah, well, it's Ohio. Ohio
of course.
Is the hellmouth. I mean, really.
But look it up. This kid was a phenomenal rower. True story. This kid was a phenomenal rower, and he ended up catching this disease at his high school. The disease was at his high school. He was the only kid to catch it. He ended up losing both of his legs and one of his arms.
I don't remember you telling me about that.
And they ended up shutting the school down for 2 weeks as the CDC came in. I mean, it was nasty. It's like He almost died from it. Another kid caught it also, almost died from it.
Anyway, so we've tangented it again. Anyway, all cabin fever is about flesh-eating bacteria. And cabin fever 2 is about the same flesh-eating bacteria in a school next to where this cabin was. It was terrible. But anyway, they kept advertising for Atrocious, and I just haven't gotten to watch it yet. So if I do get to watch it before Friday, I will before Wednesday, I'll post a vlog about it. If you haven't been watching 666 Park Avenue, you really should. It's really cool. Though
I think it deserves its own vlog.
Okay, well, I'll do a vlog about it later. Watch The Walking Dead. Season 3 is freaking awesome. Watch The Big Bang Theory, because it's awesome too. I think that's about it.
That's about it.
All right, so y'all have a good day. We will see y'all later. Mwah, love y'all. Bye-bye.